I am now. Okay.
We may want to talk briefly about the Masters.
I do. I want to talk when we come back from break. Let's go into Adam and.
We're ready to go?
What's the girl's name?
Janet Yee.
Is she in the Ying quartet?
Yes, she is.
That's
How about that, huh?
That's impressive. I mean, they're world-class musicians.
Yes, they are.
And she's a world-class
Classical musicians.
athlete. That's crazy. All right, we'll talk about that.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Fitness Edge Radio here on Sports Radio 950 ESPN. Join us here at this time every Saturday morning to help you, our Fitness Edge Radio listener, find that spark of motivation to take your fitness to the next level and achieve incredible fitness goals and amaze your friends and family, as well as give us something to talk about for years to come. Isn't that right, John H.?
That is right. We need future stories here on Fitness Edge Radio, so if people are out there achieving incredible things, they are our future guests here on Fitness Edge Radio, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. We are talking to Bill Pontius, CrossFit legend. When we went to break, I was accusing CrossFit HQ of tricking people. I don't want to wind that rant back up, but just kind of finish the thought there. When you see a CrossFit commercial on TV, you see the guys and girls hoisting incredible weights. If someone was to draw inference from those commercials, what CrossFit is, they think, I gotta be strong. I wanna hoist some big barbells. And then you show up, they never show on the commercials doing double unders or box jumps, but that's how they weed you out with the open.
And just real quick, I mean, if somebody that isn't into CrossFit like myself, I don't CrossFit, I don't know off the top of my head what a double under is. I think you've explained it to me before. Is that where you jump rope and you have to go swing it through twice with each jump, right?
It's a skill. It's a skill, and I'm still struggling. I'm getting better. Bill actually helped me with this. You got to keep your legs straight. But after 46 years of bending my knees when I jump, whether it be playing basketball or volleyball or just doing a regular jump rope, it is hard to deprogram myself from doing that. Now I've gotten up to, I think 15 unbroken is my new personal best, and I'm getting there, but it is a skill as much as anything else. And here I am thinking, I want to clean and jerk 352.5 pounds like Gary Jones, and I'm never going to get the chance in competition if I can't do a double under or a box jump or a toes to bar or a chest to bar in a time workout.
Well, you could do either at an affiliate a max rep day and do that, or you could do an Olympic lifting competition and do that. I don't think it's in that regard deceptive. This is a competition after all. If you're going to sign up for a marathon, you know that you're going to have to go 26 miles.
Absolutely. And I could train for that certainty, right?
The videos from all of the CrossFit games, not just the heavy events, but all of the events are available online. And the workouts from all of the previous years, from 2011 forward, are available. So that if somebody wants to do it, they have every opportunity to inform themselves.
Sure. Buyer beware, I think is what you're saying. I'm a lazy consumer and I want to get my information on 30-second commercials off of ESPN. So if I don't do the research and I show up and I'm unprepared, that's on me, and I accept that.
Now, on the other hand, you got a chance to learn something about some skills that you weren't necessarily the best in.
Oh, I agree 100%. I did 70 toes to bars 2 days after I struggled to do 50 in, what was that, 14.4?
Mm-hmm.
So, I had an immediate translation of skills there. It wasn't so much I didn't have the core strength, it was I didn't have the technique. Mm-hmm. And once I learned, and actually, I'll be honest with you, I watched a YouTube video that, Danger, you've heard me rant about. I talk about CrossFit as being a bunch of workout nerds who go on YouTube and with whiteboards and talk about the physics of exercise or the biomechanics and all that stuff. I actually watched a 9-minute video and learned how to do the flex my core backwards, and I'm not using the term right, but there's flexion and extension, I think, is what I learned. And I said, it clicked with me, and I got up on the bar and I did 70 of them. Not unbroken, I did them in sets, but, so there is value to it. I agree with what you're saying, Bill, and I'm just kind of, for the purpose of debate, throwing out, taking that side of it.
We have a young woman at Iron Core, where I currently work, who was only about 1 month into CrossFit,
Mm-hmm.
and she decided she was going to sign up. Well, she's a pretty talented young athlete, but these movements are all new to her.
Right.
And she scored quite well on the double under workout. When it got to the toes to bar workout, she didn't have them. And I worked with her a little bit before she tried the event, and she did not make it through the 50 toes to bar. We worked a little bit more after that, and she started to get it.
Sure.
And on Sunday, after trying this on Friday, she not only got through the 50 toes to bars, she went through to the clean portion where
Wow.
there was a weight of 95 pounds that she had never successfully done before. And I told her, you can do it. You pop those hips, you turn underneath it.
You are a great coach, by the way. You have a great knack for, in plain language, explaining what the body needs to do. I found it very helpful when you helped me with my double unders. And, I don't know if you're certified, right?
Mhm.
You're certified as level 1 CrossFit. So I was going to say, if you didn't know it already, there's a future for you in this coaching business, Bill. You're pretty good.
Well, thanks.
So
Anyway,
on Sunday, this woman, after a little bit of Bill Pontius coaching,
So she grabs it, and because she's a pretty good athlete with a quick learning curve, she gets that hip hop. Of course, you can't see this on the radio, but I'm demoing here.
Sure.
A hip hop, and then she turns under it, and this big grin gets on her face of both surprise and glee. That
right,
she
elation,
accomplished it.
she felt it was right.
And she got 15 more.
That's great.
On that, and those sorts of individual victories are what can make it worthwhile.
Absolutely, it has value, but I know that there's a lot of men and women out there that are very disappointed in their performance, and I think we're all kind of questioning, is CrossFit, trying to dupe us a little bit? But, we've explored that, and it's time to move on. Let's talk about more positive things. We do have some Masters athletes that have qualified for the next round and have moved on.
And that might be my favorite area of CrossFit.
You have a little affinity for the Masters division, do you, Bill?
I do. I have a prejudice towards the old.
You haven't had a birthday since you were on the show last, right? You're still 64 years young?
I'm now 64.
64. You were 63 when you came
Right,
in.
I was youngster.
Oh yeah, now you're old. But yeah, the Masters that's your area of expertise. Well, you've got many areas of expertise, but as it relates to the games, Adam Henby,
Mhm.
he owns a box,
Yep.
right, over there in Penfield,
Mhm.
CHG.
Yep.
He's a chiropractor. He has like a chiropractic office, and then he's got a CrossFit. And we've had him on the show. We talked about how he's creating his own customers. And he pointed out that he took his customers and he turned them on to CrossFit, so it worked the other way. I was just being a little smart aleck, and he fixed me. But he's also a great CrossFitter, and he is currently in 31st place,
That's right. He is
well inside the cutoff to move on in the regionals, right?
new for this year. It's not a regionals for Masters.
Oh, it's not?
In the sense that the Open is a regionals, where, for instance, from this area, people go to Boston and compete.
Correct.
At CrossFit.
See, that's why you're here. You're the expert on all these things. This is very difficult to follow along for the casual observer, but you've got this down.
Well, it's new, and if CrossFit were a bigger sport, maybe I could get on TV as a Bill Rafferty of CrossFit, but.
Oh, you'd be great.
But
You gotta come up with onions and
Right, I don't think I could be.
organize the puppies.
Don't think I'm
You
that
gotta
powerful.
come up for terms with, for CrossFit.
But what's going to go on is 4 workouts over one weekend for the top 200 worldwide, men and women, each age group from 40 up to 60 plus.
So Adam's in the 45 through 49 men, so the top 200 in that category are gonna square off 4 workouts. They're gonna stay local and submit videos for this,
That's right.
and then they'll pick from that, how do they pick who moves on?
The top 20 will go on to the games in Carson, California this summer. Adam's score of 31 on the first part of the Open will count as one of 5 scores. The other 4 will be determined by those weekends workouts.
Oh, so he's gonna get some credit for what he's done already.
He's going to get some credit, and he's certainly in the mix, particularly if they put double unders back in on those, because he was 4th in the world in that double unders workout. So Adam's 31st in the world, which ain't bad. And
It's incredible, actually.
It is when you think about it.
200,000. Now they're all not masters. Obviously, it's across the age spectrum, but still, he went against a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life, and he's the fourth best in that particular discipline.
We were taking a look at it just before we went on the air, and there was something like 50 pages worth of people in his age group, which happens also to be your age group.
Right, yeah. I didn't submit because I couldn't get my first one uploaded. Would have been curious to see. I did see a guy locally who posted his results. He came in 71,000, which is, if there's 200,000, he's in the top third. He's knocking on the door. That's nothing to sneeze at. And his results looked very similar to mine. I beat him in a couple. He beat me in a couple, and I'm gonna guess I'm in the top 75,000.
The technical aspect of doing the Open, I think, is one of those issues we were talking about. But for people who submit their own results and have them judged online, that's a toughie, because you've got to, you can't be an old person like me and say, YouTube, how do I get on YouTube?
Right.
So-
What is YouTube, Bill?
I don't know, I've heard of it. But
What is this futuristic thing you're telling me about right now?
if I were doing the games, the Open this year, and if I had finished in the top 200, I'd figure it out.
Now you still have an injury you're nursing, right? You had a bad arm when we last talked.
I think I was doing things one-armed when you were at Iron Court. wasn't
You were. What's going on with your injury?
Well, it's holding its own.
It's not getting better. It's not getting worse.
Occasionally I can do something and test it out, and then I set it back a little bit, so it's a matter of finding what the level that I can go at and get it stronger without setting it back is. So I'm still hopeful that next year we'll be back in wherever
I'm rooting for you. I want to see you out there competing again, because you're a competitor.
Can I mention a couple of other names of people locally?
Well, yeah, I wanted to talk about Janet Ying in particular.
Janet Ying and her teammate Mike Mundy
Yes.
from CrossFit Rochester.
I just pulled up their page here on Facebook, and I see that they have qualified to move on as well.
They have. And they both just snuck in, but they're both outstanding athletes. I shouldn't say snuck in, they earned their way in, but.
I know it's kind of weird to say it that way when they're the top 60 or top 200. They're top 200, right? They're masters competitors.
Janet finished 198 and Mike 199. Mike got it on his into the top 200 on that last workout.
That's amazing.
If you look at the person who's 201st, Mike creamed him on the last workout, and that guy's probably regretting.
Sure. Somebody's happy and somebody's sad. Danger, imagine playing hockey. I know you love to play hockey.
Yes.
Right? Did you score this week, by the way?
Of course.
You were in a foul mood last week because you hadn't scored.
Oh, we lost. No, we won this week. Yeah, we're in good shape.
We rise and
Yeah,
fall on our
absolutely.
sporting, exploits. But imagine playing a hockey game and having to go to the locker room, shower, get dressed, go home, and watch TV to find out if you won or not. That's kind of what these guys are dealing with a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
You go out there, you put all out. In sports, mano-a-mano, you beat the other team, it's settled. You walk off either victorious or in defeat, and you shake hands, you go have a beer, it's over. Here, you've got to kind of play the waiting game, right?
Did I tell you the story about 2012, what happened to me? At 5 minutes to 8, I was
Yes.
qualified. At 5 minutes after 8, I was out on the outside looking.
No, I don't think you put it in those terms. So you went from elation, hey, I'm in, to, this guy came in right at the last minute.
Actually, I went from an all-day surprise that it looked like I was going to qualify because I thought I was shy a couple of reps, and then saying, yeah, gee, look at this.
Do you picture that guy sitting out there just waiting until 7:59 to submit his score and just to blow up your spot?
Yep.
Do you know? Have you ever met that guy? Have you found him online on Facebook or anything like that and just said you SOB?
Yeah, no, I haven't said that.
No.
But yeah, I know who it is.
Yeah. Local person here?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm gonna interview him on this show here and get their side of the story.
But mention something about Janet Yin.
Yeah. Well, Janet, you and I were talking offline. She's part of the Ying Quartet. They're a world-renowned string quartet over of Eastman fame here. Philip worked out at my gym for a while. Then he moved out. He was living right across the street from the gym, and then they moved out to the suburbs. But I mean, you're talking about a world-class, top of their profession musician who's also now a world-class CrossFit athlete. That's pretty incredible accomplishment, if you ask me.
She actually has competed at the regionals once or twice as part of the CrossFit Rochester team. Now, Janet is about 5 foot long, and I may be being generous here, and she may weigh 100 pounds.
She's a dynamo, though.
She is incredible, and when you think about that deadlift workout we were talking about, where you had to combine deadlifts and
Box jumps, yeah.
so you really are carrying an anaerobic load.
Absolutely.
At the end of that, she's deadlifting 205 pounds, twice her body weight, after having done 5 sets of deadlifts at lower weights before that, and 5 sets of box jumps before that.
That is amazing.
It is.
That is amazing. There are really some incredible athletes in town here that are, participating in CrossFit. And you have the privilege of knowing most of them. You're kind of like the grandfather of CrossFit around here. You know everybody's story.
Well, actually, it's growing so fast that I don't, but the people I know, it's wonderful knowing them because they're also great folks. Should mention Barry Cruttenden.
Yes, let's talk about our former guest, Barry. You mentioned him. What did Barry do here?
Barry made it into the next round, and it'll be interesting to get his take on what doing these 4 workouts in one weekend is going to be. We were talking off air about recovery from 14.5.
Correct.
And the difficulties when you get a really tough workout.
My arm still won't work right.
That night you said you had trouble sleeping.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep.
And that will happen to me after a tough workout too, and if you've got 4 over a weekend,
Yeah.
you better be able to.
And Barry's no
recover.
spring chicken.
Nobody he's competing against is.
Although he should be well rested, because all I ever see on Facebook from him is vacation pictures. Does he ever stay home? He just travels the world. He must find boxes all over the world. And we talked about that with him. He does try to seek out a CrossFit box wherever he travels, whether it be Europe or Hawaii or wherever he is, and he goes and gets a workout in. So he stays on top of his craft, regardless if he's poolside most of the day or not.
So he'll probably do his workouts at Monroe County CrossFit. Janet and Michael will be doing them at CrossFit Rochester, and of course Adam will be at CHG.
Yeah.
If people are interested in seeing this, they probably would all appreciate people coming out and
Yeah, I
sharing
saw
for
Joe
them.
Celso on their blog over there. They're looking for rabbits, they call them. So it's basically like, you ran marathons and a lot of races back in the day. You know what a rabbit is. They go out and set the pace, and you try to keep, and then they burn out and fall off, and you just keep going on, right?
I want to be clear, I never ran a marathon, and I
No?
don't want to run a marathon. No,
I thought
John-
you ran like ultra marathons.
John, I was a hurdler.
Oh, okay, that's right. You were a hurdler.
Anyway, I would encourage people, check with those boxes, that's CHG, Rochester and Monroe County, and see if they're interested in having people come by, a chance to see how a workout goes, and a chance to help support people, and I don't think you'll be charged an admission charge either.
That would be very cool. It might be your only chance locally here to see a regional CrossFit athlete this year.
The next closest thing would be to go to Toronto on May 16, 17 and watch the Canadian East Regionals, which for the guys out in our audience get a chance to see Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet compete.
Yeah.
And
If you didn't get enough of her on the announcement of the Opens, because that was a unique thing this year. That was new this year, where they announced the workouts, and then they had the established names come in and do them right there. Was that new this year?
They actually started it last year, but.
Last year, okay.
But they're getting more sophisticated at it, obviously, and Camille qualified second in the world in the Open women, and that's out of almost 100,000 women.
Yeah. How did Annie Thorsdottir do? She came back this year. Did she qualify?
She did for her regionals. The European regionals will be very tough because Samantha Briggs, the defending champion, is there. Annie Thorsdottir, who's twice champion, is there. And only 3 people out of that whole region qualify. So if you're not one of those 2, you've got to go up against
the odds are long for you. You've got to beat the rest of the field to get in.
You could be grateful if you're in the Northeast or you're in Canada East or anywhere else in the women's division. That's
Yeah, those are definitely long odds, but that's what's great about CrossFit. It is continually evolving. We have our heroes, just like in baseball. We'll have CrossFit cards that we're trading pretty soon. We'll have you in again. It's been fun talking to you. I've used up all of our time. I do wanna thank you for coming in, talking about the Open. Give you 60 seconds in case I forgot anything, or if you wanna let people know how to find you or find any, information that you've been sharing. I think you're a great resource for this community, Bill, and, you know, people are lucky to have you, and if you wanna tell us how to get a hold of you, go ahead and do that.
Well, thanks. You can get a hold of me via Iron Core CrossFit. We're just adding Sunday classes in, and I'll be doing those. And you can find me other times there too. The Iron Core site will direct you to us. And the CrossFitGames.com will tell you almost everything you need to know about the CrossFit Games.
You only need a few hours to go in there and navigate all that information, but
Well,
it is a pretty elaborate site, and you can find out a lot about CrossFit while you're there.
You can, and you can learn a lot about the exercises too if you spend time there. There are a lot of videos on the main CrossFit site that are instructional.
And don't be like John H. Educate yourself. Know what you're getting yourself into if you're gonna go CrossFit.
Well, I look forward to next year when we can talk about this again and where your experience takes you.
Maybe I'll be in the top 200, 45 to 49. I'll be 47 next year. We'll see what that brings.
You know, Masters, it's great because you always look forward to a birthday that
I know you
pops
can,
up another
exactly, you
5
can
years.
get a new lease on life, so to speak. Bill Pontius from Iron Core CrossFit has been our guest this morning. Bill, it has been a pleasure as always. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna turn it over to Mike Danger to take it out, like he always does.
We also spoke to the Ayatamasi bodybuilding clan of Rochester earlier on Fitness Edge Radio. I want to say thank you to Paul Jr., Paul Sr., and Dan Ayatamasi. Wish them best of luck in their show happening at Greece Olympia 1 week from today. Fitness Edge Radio every Saturday morning right here on Sports Radio 950 ESPN. You can hear past episodes and contact us through our website at fitnessedgeradio.com. Also search us out on Facebook. And we'll be back here again next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 950 ESPN.
Boom! Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was fun. I think we got some good material there.
It was.
Danger will edit us down, you know,
How-
take out my ramblings.
How much is it gonna run?
It'll probably be the back half of the show, the half hour.
I just
Figure out
assumed,
about
you
9:30.
I assumed, you know, you were looking for like a 10-minute filler for.
Well, I was thinking, but as soon as I went out there and I saw this other, I said, let's go ahead and do the full shot, and, you know, if we have to bump them, we'll bump them.
Well,
This is timely. I mean, this is fresh, and that's what we wanna be, you know, since we're a recorded show, we wanna be as fresh as possible. And,
Yeah, we gotta sound as alive as we can, even though we're not.
you know,
So.
Yeah, I like that you're saying good morning, I'm thinking, okay. I'm gonna respond.
Yeah.
It's 2:00 in the afternoon, 3.
And the show is a week from Saturday, so I gotta say a week from today for
Right,
the Ayatamasis.
yeah, well, we're
oh,
getting
this
there.
is gonna be a week from,
No, this will play Saturday.
this will place.
But we were talking about a show with these guys that were in ahead of you, that's next Saturday. So we were saying a week from today as opposed to, you know, a week from Saturday.
God, how do you keep it straight?
The magic world of radio. Danger is teaching me the ways.
Magic world of thinking.
I moved a button on the board today.
Yeah.
Do well.
Stepping up.
Mike, good to see you again.
Great to see you, Bill.
Now he's gotta
Appreciate you
go,
coming
now
in.
he's gotta go to his full-time job. I think we got 5 minutes to spare. Let me go turn this video off here.
Bill, I'll walk you out.
I'm gonna go mess with that.
Okay,
Thank you again.
you're welcome, John, good to see you.
We'll talk online, and we'll do this again soon. All right, take care.